So if I'm uncomfortable sharing with my partner, what makes you think I want to share with this whole group? I don't like this group stuff, y'all. I didn't like it at all. Episode 9 of Married at First Sight, it is take your spouse to work day. Take your wife to work day for Becca. So Mecca's taking Belle to clean porta potties. And, she's in the car. She's hyping him up, telling him she's proud of what he does. And she is really turned on by seeing him in uniform. I'm like that as well. I love me a man in uniform. He explains that it's a family business, and I think he already told us that. So Belle is going to be helping him. Now, I'm going to be very vulnerable in this moment, and I'm going to tell you about one of my biggest fears. My biggest fear is using a porta potty, and then somebody knocks it over while I'm still in there. I do not do porta potties. Anyway, enough about me. When she went into that porta potty, she was like, "Oh no, I'm not doing that." And then it cuts to her being excited, like, I'm doing it. She said nobody could have told her that this was the other side of Mecca because he's always so put together, so well dressed, so debonair. That's me, but I get it. He does not look like he cleans porta potty. His nails are painted, for God's sake. I think she was a good sport, and I feel like she could tell that he was a little insecure about what he does. Like, it pays well, he's doing well in the field, but it's like, I think he feels like people judge him when he tells them that he cleans porta potties. Then he slides in there that, things have drastically changed since they did the dude. I'm like, hold on, when did this happen last night? Because I didn't think it was going to go down. He was in there being all giggly, telling me, I don't have my robe on no more. I thought that would make her roll over and go to sleep. Production asked him if he's caught serious feelings for Belle. And he was like, serious feelings? That sounds like love. That's scary. Let's just say strong feelings. I'm like, okay, strong, whatever. After they clean the porta potty, they go see his grandma, Miss Victoria, back at the office. She works in the office for the porta potty company. And Belle goes in for a hug with that sanitation coat. Listen, Belle, that's nasty, okay? I don't know about grandma, but I would have been like, you need to back up. Because no. Better throw that lady pH off. No. She asked Belle if she would be able to run the office if she retired and left the company to Mecca. And Belle was like, yeah, I have experience in that. I forgot that Belle just does a whole bunch of odd jobs. Like, she sing and other stuff. I forgot. Before Granny kicks them out, she lets them know that she likes the way that they interact. And that's a compliment from somebody's grandma, because they are usually very straightforward. But, after people do you can kind of tell, because they kind of get close and they lean into each other more. That damn Adam's sitting at that table with that thrifted shirt on with the tag still on it. What does that tell us, class? It's dirty. Nasty. He has not washed it. Marissa better be careful before her pH be off. She asked him if he thinks the group therapy will be helpful, and he said he don't know because he's only had solo therapy. He said therapy helped him break up with all 3 of his girlfriends. And she was like, so if you start going back to therapy, then I'll know it's over. He was like, yeah, and I have an appointment this week. He was like, I'm just kidding, but she asked if he's going to take it seriously. And he was like, yeah, I've been taking this whole process here. And we can't tell. Look what you got on. And Marissa got to put her foot down, because where are you going? You're not going nowhere with me like that. I'm sorry. So he warns her that he's going to be very honest at this group therapy session, and he's not going to hold anything back. She was like, that's good, and there will be no hard feelings. Why Adam show up to the therapy session with his shirt open? Like, he just screaming for attention. It's starting to get on my nerves, and it's getting on Paul's nerves too, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Courtney is there. She's finally leaning into Nick. Nikki and Sean show up hand in hand. Something is going on. I'm like, do they get a prize if they get to the end of the show and they choose each other? Because this is crazy. Belle and Mecca look fabulous as usual, but Mecca got that scarf on. I don't know about that. Cause what made you pick that up at the store? Felipe and Tori look okay, and Caitlin and Devin look like they're trying. Caitlin's doing that thing that she does where she tries to look like she's so close to him, because she doesn't want people to come at him. She doesn't want people to come at her. Anyway, Paul was like, we've been paying in his mind. Paul was like, we've been playing for 8 episodes. That stops today. He went from Adam first, because what you got on? He said you came in here with your titties out like you was going to a beach party. Now, y'all know I be paraphrasing. Now, this is what I be hearing, because Paul be trying to be sounding professional, so I get it, but I'm translating a little bit. Paraphrasing and translating. He was like, then you buttoned it up. Adam was like, yeah, it was hot outside. I was crawling. Paul was like, see, that's what we're not doing tonight, okay? Did y'all see Nikki doing the clock it symbol when Paul said that? And then Felipe being messy, talking about, ooh, he's such a kid. But Paul said, we're not about to talk about all the BS you said you were doing that you were not doing. I was like, oh, Paul, calm down. He said you came into all the workshops all serious, and then as soon as the show starts, you want to start acting the fool. He was like, you're deflecting at a time where you should be more serious than you were at the beginning. Marissa was just sitting there like, yeah, get him, because she's scared to speak up. Paul was like, the humor and the attire is deflecting. So Adam was like, no, I was not myself in the beginning, but this is like really who I am. Paul was like, in 4 weeks, you have to make the biggest decision of your life. And you need to get in there and have those vulnerable conversations. Then he asked Marissa, when was the last time they had a deep conversation? And she was like, deep? Well, maybe never. Everything has been surface level, is what she said. Dr. Lisa was like, I know more about you than your husband does. And I was like, dang, well, I think you know more about everybody, because nobody's really having the conversations. Paul was like, y'all don't have a strong relationship yet. And see, y'all already did the do, and you don't even know this man, pretty much is what he was trying to tell him. So Lisa said, tell each other something and be vulnerable. I was like, in front of the group? Like, I ain't about to sit up here and spill it's bad enough that it's on TV, but when you're sitting there and those people are in the room, you can't hear what the people outside are saying, but the people in the room, I don't know these people either. Yeah, at least I'm in the bed with him. I don't even know these people. Marissa talks about the relationship with her narcissistic father. She starts tearing up, and Adam listens and tells her, we can talk more about it later, because it is awkward with all these people staring at her while she's talking about something that's very personal. So Adam gives this BS answer about how he's been cheated on in the past and it's caused emotional damage. And I can't blame Adam in that sense, because I know it's going to come out on TV. I get that, but I don't want all these people looking at my face while I'm being vulnerable. You said to my wife, not to all these strangers. Even though the wife is a stranger too, but you know what I mean. Paul was like, Marissa, how do you feel being able to share that? I was like, probably crazy with all these people staring at her. So she starts tearing up, and Adam makes a joke. And Paul was like, that was the deflection I was talking about. Because Adam was like, now you got my girl crying or something. And he was like, I know your intentions. I know your intentions were out of love, but that wasn't the right way to go. You should have let her know that you're there. You're with her. In confessional, Cam was like, he thinks Adam opened up. And then Michelle was like, really? When? I don't know. Michelle's starting to rub me the wrong way, because mind your business and your man paycheck, okay? We move on to Cam and Michelle, and they are still being politicians. That kind of gets on my nerves a little bit, because it's like they're tiptoeing around each other. I don't care who you are. There is something about the person that you have to sleep with every night that gets on your nerves. That's all. Marissa said in her confessional that she wished Adam had some of the awareness and maturity that Cam has. Now, why you ain't tell Adam that? Why you ain't say that to the experts? You trying to get behind these closed doors and say what you want. He needs to know it. We don't need to know. I was like, girl, not there's trouble in paradise, because everything was for sure when Adam was around. Michelle started talking about finances. Cam said it was emasculating at first, but now he's proud. He's proud that she makes that. He was like, go ahead, get your paper. I was like, okay. Um, Michelle said something along the lines of she thought that money equaled like drive and hard work, and she realizes that, well, he brought her back down to earth. She realizes that that's not the same thing, and he works really hard. They did the do. I said, okay, but I was like, was it pity sex because he was feeling emasculated? Like, did you just not want him to feel bad no more? I don't know. It was a weird time to do it. Courtney starts immediately bringing up Adam and Marissa as soon as they get to her. I know what the initial spark is, like Adam and Marissa, and I know what that feels like. Girl, did you hear the question? The people asked you nothing about Adam and Marissa or an initial spark. Basically, what she was trying to say, because she got the crying and everything, she wanted Adam so bad she was crying. Basically, she was saying she doesn't feel safe enough to open up. That man ain't safe either. He don't know what to do for you. Okay, he can't make you feel safe because he can't touch you. He can't look at you too long. He can't do nothing for you. So Dr. Lisa asked Nick about his fears, and he said he hasn't done a deep enough dive to even know. She was like, I call BS. I said, hold on, Dr. Lisa. Like, we got to keep the license on the wall, and that was unprofessional. Okay. Probably right, but you don't know me like that, sister. So, Paul was like, tell her something about you that's important to you. And he struggled with that. He was like, oh, I got to think of something good. They was like, no. Paul was like, no, you've been on all these reality TV shows. Now you're trying to self-edit. No, just tell me the first thing to pop off your head. And Courtney's like, yeah, it doesn't have to be like, Courtney, shut up. Shut up. You always want to talk in front of everybody else. Paul was like, it doesn't have to shake the world. It just needs to shake you. I'm like, Paul, what are you talking? You said something that was important. What? Okay. I don't know. They had me confused too. He said he fears being judged for being his awkward, goofy self. So he shows up more polished so people don't judge that side of him. I was like, okay, I guess that's good enough to share in front of all these damn people. Courtney talking about she wants more because everything's being so surface level. You won't even let that man touch you. What more do you want? I think Courtney like girls. I don't know. I think she got too much testosterone to be caring about what a man think. Felipe was like, have y'all talked about why the previous relationships didn't work? I don't know if production telling them to speak out and stuff, because why everybody an expert but the experts? Be quiet. Let the experts work. I think production is. I hope production telling these people to say this stuff. Courtney said he told her that he has 5 boxes. She was like, can I share? He like, well, hell, you, whatever. Like, if I say no, I'm going to look crazy. He has 5 boxes. Good looking, smart, this, that, and the other. And nobody reaches that 6th box, which is all of them. I said, okay, so it ain't a 6th box. It's just all 5 boxes. Like, what the hell? She was like, but I still feel like that's a polished answer. Well, it is what it is. Tori and Felipe are next. Tori said they are progressing, but Felipe said he just realized that he got to commit every day. Look, one more side note. When my niece did her first day of school, she got out of school and she thought that was it. She thought she didn't have to go back. She was like, I already did. I already went yesterday. That's how Felipe feels. He like, oh, I got to keep committing to her every day? Oh, no. He didn't see that part on the contract. So he said nothing is wrong, but he's looking for something to be wrong. He said he's still fearing that the passion is going to go away or whatever. He said in the past, when it goes away, he ghosts the other person and move on, go on to the next one. Lisa asked Tori if that scares her. She was like, yeah, because apparently she didn't know none of this was going on. Devin said he has the same fear for Caitlyn. I don't know how he had that fear, because it ain't no passion to start with. Paul said Felipe thrives in uncertainty, and it's a blessing and a curse. He said he just needs to stay curious, keep learning things about Tori, because there's a million things you can learn about a person. People change all the time. Paul then asked Tori if she distanced herself from Felipe after doing the do. And she said, yeah. Afterwards, she couldn't even sleep. She said she was wondering if this was even real to him. And see, that's your intuition telling you that he over here playing. Because now he talking about this passion stuff. That's your body just saying, you just gave me to a fool. Paul said this would have been a good time to test her partner, figure out if she felt more safe or less safe. And I'm like, Paul, no, that ain't how women work. Back in her mind, she knew. They did say that they have done the do again without her fleeing the scene. We get to Becca. Dr. Lisa asked about the homework she gave them. You know, she told him to stop kissing her on the forehead and all that. Becca said, honey, we skipped all of that. We didn't do none of your little homework. We went straight into doing the do. Dr. Lisa was like, so, she was talking to Belle. So, are you feeling desired now? And Belle was like, I don't think that I wasn't feeling desired. But Dr. Lisa cut her off. Really? Because I thought that was the core of what you were feeling. How you gonna thought what my feelings was? Ain't nobody asked you to thought nothing. Paul was like, we matched you, but you have to choose your partner. He was like, and Mecca, you haven't chosen Belle. And she can feel that. I said, well, damn. Well, I think we can go on seeing Dr. Lisa home. Let her have her own sessions, because this good cop, bad cop is not working for me. Paul said he felt like Belle is constantly letting Mecca know, I'm here for you, whatever you need, and she's waiting to be chosen. Dr. Lisa asks if he feels deserving of love, if Mecca feels deserving of love, and if he knows how to receive it. And he said he sees other people who he feels deserves love, and he doesn't feel like he measures up to them. So no, in a nutshell, he does not feel like he deserves love. That just made me feel bad. And I know it's because of the mommy issues. But let me ask the experts this. Did y'all think it was a good idea to put somebody with mommy issues with somebody with daddy issues? I don't know. Maybe that's something we should have thought about. Where was I? The ADHD be kicking in. So Dr. Lisa says, well, when I told Mecca he had a match, he was like he was going to cry because he couldn't believe that someone was going to possibly love him for him. Lisa, why we got to tell the whole group that? Your patients can't trust you, because that's doctor-patient confidentiality. You just broke that in the HIPAA laws and stuff. You're not supposed to tell nobody what he said. Girl. The experts questioned if they were being authentic at that dinner the night before. And Belle said she was. She was like, that was me. That was my authentic self. Mecca said he was exaggerating. I said, what now? Michelle put her 2 cents in. She was like, I think that what you showed today was more authentic than the dinner. I said, they literally just said that. Shut up. Mecca said in the confessional that the talk of him being performative hurts. He wasn't saying he was being performative. He was saying he was exaggerating a little bit and acting like his father pretty much. Just kind of, being funny. Courtney said, do you love... Because who asked Courtney to say anything? Every time she opened her mouth, I get irritated. She asked Mecca, do you love yourself enough to love someone else? And Mecca was like, yeah, but that's... he was like, I'm working on that every day. I'm sorry. Mecca said he was working on that every day. And Courtney was like, yeah, but, that's all about you. And you're bringing somebody else. Courtney, shut up. I'm telling you to shut up. I'm like, why do we even have the experts in the room if y'all know everything? Since you got your degree and you know everything. Thank God for Devin, because he was like, I see you, bro. I feel the same way. And he was like, you're not alone. I was like, that's what's up. That's kind of what somebody need when they down. Not Courtney sitting over there chirping about something she don't know nothing about. Do you love yourself enough? But Mecca basically says, this is on me. I need to get out of my own way. And a lot of us do, in one way or another. When Belle was asked how it felt to hear him say that he doesn't deserve love, she said she could feel that. She feels people. She said she had a very traumatic upbringing, and that can trigger anxiety and panic attacks. And then she starts tearing up. So she understands. She said he is deserving of love, and if no one else will show him that, she will. I said, damn, he need that, because between his mom and his stepmom and his father, and he don't know nothing about love. Nikki and Sean. Sean said it has been, this is a circus act. Sean said there has been a miraculous shift in their energy. He said they've been scoring their relationship, or no, Nikki. They've been scoring their relationship daily. And one day it was a 10 out of 10, and the other day it was a 9 point something. Nikki, you said it was a 2 the day before. What's going on? Nikki said, or not Nikki, Nick. Nick said, baby, I'm confused because we just had dinner last night. What happened? He said the dinner wasn't that long ago. What the hell did y'all do to get a 10 out of 10? Sean was like, well, we started out different from everybody else. We started out intense, and now we're light. Everybody else started out light, and now they're intense. Sean, what are you talking about? Y'all starting out hating each other. These people ain't starting out. They're not starting or ending like that. He said Paul told him about the 3 roots of conflict, and they are closeness, power, and respect. So when you're in an argument, take those into consideration. He said he was definitely missing all of those in their conversations. He wasn't being respectful. He was fighting for power, and he wasn't doing anything to cause any closeness. So Nick said in his confessional, he was like, he believes things can get better, like you can progress, you can forgive, but he ain't feeling no 10 out of 10. That's what Nick had to say about it. And Cam said he was not confident they're going to make it. I'm not confident either, Cam. Devin and Caitlin. Devin said he came into this thinking, he came in aggressive. He was going to love bomb her, and she was going to love it, but it actually pushed her away. He said he had to dim his light down because they were real concerned about him dimming his light. And he said he dimmed his light because he wanted to make sure she had what she needed. Paul said most people would say that's not how love works. So he asked Caitlin, does she feel like his light has been diminished? And Caitlin said yes. She said she can feel it and she can see it. Felipe said Devin is so committed, he's willing to do anything for this. Yeah, he seems committed. He does, but he said love bombing. So, Paul said Devin was the most committed in the room. He said he just doesn't want him to lose himself in that commitment. Caitlin said she likes everything about him, but she needs someone to ground her because she can be a little flighty and all over the place. First of all, you don't like everything about him at all. Quit lying. Second of all, what Paul said those are things that you don't get from a relationship. Those are things you get from yourself. You need to ground yourself. Okay, put your feet in the grass. Okay, because you can't put that on somebody else. She said 3 years ago she was batshit crazy, and now she has her peace. She wants that peace and calm everywhere. And I'm like, but we wasn't there 3 years ago. That don't have nothing to do with us. Okay, and that don't have nothing to do with you causing this man to not be himself. But I feel like the things that he needs, that he wants from her, are also things that he needs to do for himself. But as a man, I don't think Paul can see that. You have to watch them men, honey. Paul said love does not diminish you. It asks for more of you. He said never be in a relationship where you have to shrink. And I'm like, are you telling him to leave? Just say it. So Devin said they can do it because he don't want to quit. He said they can do it. He told Caitlin they can do exercises together to remedy her flightiness. And Devin is ready to do the work. Now, I don't know why or what his intentions are, but he's ready to do the work. He's trying to stay in the game. So they go around and they want to ask everybody really quickly, if today was decision day, would it be a yes or undecided? Yes, no, or undecided. Everybody said, no, it wasn't everybody. So Cam and Michelle said it was a yes. Tori and Felipe said it was a yes, which was surprising to me after all Felipe just said. Marissa and Adam said yes. Now, I knew Adam was going to say yeah because Marissa said yeah. But I'm not sure why Marissa would have said yes. And again, I think this is performative. You are so unhappy in this thing. You're just going with the flow and vibing. On the way home, so Caitlin was like, she needs a massage. And Devin was like, I give really good massages. She was like, no, like a legit massage. She was like, I give really good, legit massages. She was like, no, from somebody who's not attracted to me or something. He was like, oh, God forbid. Like, girl, why did you even bring it up? Nick was at the house talking about people saying yesterday is wild to him, which it was wild to me today too, Nick. I can see why Cam and Michelle said it because, they haven't gone in. Both of them seem very willing. Michelle got on my nerves a little bit with her little 2 cents this time, but I feel like both of them are willing. Becca is at home, and Mecca is feeling away about people saying he was putting on a facade. And I'm like, well, you was the one that told people you was exaggerating. It's not a facade. It's a coping mechanism. So Belle said hearing it from the experts didn't bother her because she knows what their intentions are. But hearing it from other people, which she means Michelle, it didn't sit right with her. Mecca said it hurt hearing Michelle say it too because, she's so genuine and she's, authentic. So Belle was like, yeah, that's not, the nitpicking is not sitting right with me. Mecca said his motto is be yourself because everybody else is taken. And he lives by that. And Belle was like, all I need you to be is Mecca. So he's like, he goes into that coping mechanism thing that he does where he gets real silly. He's like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about, whatever. Michelle is at home still talking about them people. And y'all got bigger fish to fry, okay? This man got to get up and go to another state in the morning, okay? She said she had to applaud them for showing their true selves. And Cam was like, you kind of called them out, though. He was like, you said they were talking in loops and using big words. I said, no, Cam, those were your thoughts. Okay, that lady didn't say nothing about that. She said they gave her whiplash from being hot and cold. So she's talking about getting a different job to support his dream. And he was like, well, I have more than one dream. I was like, oh, that was so sweet. But did you see the sneak peek? Oh, my goodness. And Felipe finna show his ass, and I knew he was going to. We're going to see next week. Come back and see me. We can have some wine and some stuff. I made some roster pasta today. I didn't even offer you none, but come back and see me next week. I'll offer you a plate, okay, and a glass of wine. Bye.